So I'm going to come get your votes. I'm going to tally them. And the next comedian coming to the stage can do a little time. Please clap it up. This man is so involved in comedy. He's a video guy, he's a photo guy, he's a storyteller, he's a writer, he's done it all. Please clap it up for Mr. Sareth Nay.
Michelle, before you leave, I'm going to take requests. So, which joke would you like to hear tonight and why?
My favorite joke he does is, I call it Iron Maiden. Because, yeah.
And why?
Because I was named after a song.
Sounds good, folks. My name is Sareth Nay, and we're going to kick it off with my Iron Maiden joke. In my 20s, I moved out to Los Angeles, and I visited this very gay-friendly part of town called West Hollywood. And there's a crosswalk that's all rainbow colors, and I thought by crossing it, I'd run into a leprechaun and get a bag of Skittles. But I didn't. I ran into this big gay bear with a nice whip. And by nice whip, I mean a BMW. He says, "Hey, cub." I'm like, "I'm not a cub, I'm a Rockies fan. I'm from Colorado. You should go to a bathhouse." I didn't know what a bathhouse was, folks. So I go to this place, and it had all these holes in the walls. And I thought it had a termite problem. But it didn't. Because out of nowhere, this pecker hits me right in the back of the leg. And I'm like, what the Tonya Harding is going on around here? Then from another wall, this pecker hits me right in the face. And I'm like, what the Ronda Rousey? And from another wall, I see some dude's face, and I said, "Hey, mister, what am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to feed you snacks?" He's like, "No, you're supposed to put your pecker through this wall." I'm like, "There's no duct tape around this hole. I'm not getting splinters in my wood." So his pecker comes to the wall. There's 3 peckers facing me, and rock music comes on. And I thought it was Judas Priest, but it wasn't. It was Iron Maiden. I was inside of an Iron Maiden full of peckers, folks. I stuck around to see what the next song would be, and it was "Come Together" by the Beatles. Because if you think about it, that song goes, "Come together." And I was drenched, folks. Head to toe in man gravy, and it was so salty. Just like my exes. And it looked like I just had fillers on a Black Friday sale because I had a pearl necklace, pearl earrings, and pearl bracelets to match. I hear Rob's laugh back there. Rob, which joke would you like for me to do tonight?
Tuck Norris.
Tuck Norris. Alright, so around the same year, 2006, I went to Bangkok, Thailand. And my uncle thought it would be funny to take me to a strip club called the Lollipop. My uncle goes, "You know, if you stay here past midnight, they're not going to be ladies, and they're not quite boys. They're called lady boys." This place had ping pong balls and mirrored ceilings and poles everywhere. And so at 11:59, we left that club and rode into a tuk, if you will. And I said, "Uncle, if I ever become a lady boy, my name would be Tuck Norris. Tanya Tucker if you're nasty." Andre, which joke would you like to hear tonight? So what?
The Sea-Doo one?
Oh, the Sea-Doo one. He's naughty. He is naughty. So the Sea-Doo is a sex position that I made up. Instead of motorboating their boobs, you do it to their butts until you Sea-Doo. Alex, which joke would you like for me to do tonight?
The one where you say pecker a lot.
Oh, that was the Iron Maiden full of peckers.
Oh, okay.
He loves peckers. I do not blame him. Well, I guess I'll jump into my regular material because I don't think Marty knows any of my jokes, and we rarely see each other perform stand-up.
I know. Yeah.
So I'll just kick it off the top. So I perform mostly in Daytona Beach, and Daytona is known for the Daytona 500. And I want to play the race card game with you all. Which race do you think I am? I know, that's a tough question to ask. Well, some people think I'm black, some people think I'm Thai, Samoan, Vietnamese, but I'm Cambodian. And whenever I would go to a bar like this, my pickup line is, if you be my Angelina, I can promise you a Cambodian baby. Sometimes it works. But my parents escaped the Khmer Rouge back in the 70s. The bullets were flying back and forth. And they said, you know, if we spend another holiday in Cambodia, we're going to end up dead like the Kennedys. Right there. So I remember they were passing through a couple countries, they told me, and they saw Arnold there taking out some predators. And my dad said, you should go to Cambodia, there's some predators there too, take those out too. And then they saw Sylvester taking out weekend crops, drawing first blood. My mom was like, I guess there's no more suffering succotash. Thank you. That's one of my Looney Tunes joke I had to pull out there. So they got to the chopper as instructed by Arnold. And as they were flying across the Pacific Ocean, my little sister, my big sister, I'm sorry, she was born in Thailand. She looks over to the pilot and says, where are we going? And the pilot goes, we're coming to America like Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy joke. So they landed in Colorado, and that's where I was born. And Cambodia is known for the religious temple Angkor Wat. So I guess you can call me an Angkor baby. Because that's what they had to do for me to stay there, just have an anchor baby. So, but like most Asian kids, I got my very first job at the age of 9. So you can thank me for your soccer balls and your tennis shoes later. I was actually a dishwasher in my parents' Chinese restaurant. And if you ever wondered where the term the doggy bag came from a Chinese restaurant. I know because I made the puppy chow mein. When I was 15 years old, I thought it'd be a good idea to steal a nudie mag from my uncle. But I didn't know how much he cried during sex. All the pigs were all wrinkly and they were all stuck together. I thought they were his tears and his boogers. But they weren't. They were his knuckle babies and his water-based lube. My mom found it, and she tore it right in front of me. It saddened me because it reminded me of the Oklahoma City bombing, because all the dead babies came out of it. So when I was 18 years old, I went to my very first strip club. It turned out to be, used to be an old church. And my very first lap dance came from a lady that looked exactly like Marilyn Manson. She walked up to me like she was my own personal Jesus. She turned out to be an Antichrist superstar. She was one of the beautiful people. She put on a dope show. And that night I had sweet dreams. It was fantastic, folks. I know what's coming, Michelle. And it's not me. So I'm going to close it out with the winter storm. Or actually the hostess Ding Dong. Seems to be a recent favorite. It involves felching. Do you all know what felching is? If you don't know what felching is, it's where you bust another butts, you slip it out and you swallow it. So what you want to do is bust another butts, you lather their butt cheeks up with chocolate syrup, say, hey, where's the cream filling? And they release it and you swallow it and you say, that's the stuff, hostess. And that, my friends, is dirty comedy without any curse words. My name is Shrapney. Give it for Jack and I from Pelican Landing. This is Michelle. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Dirty comedy without saying anything bad. He's the king. The king of it. All right, are you ready to find out who won tonight, right? All my comics are here.